before the meeting, what can I help you with?
Are we capturing audio and video? Just so you know.
You will be? All right, I'm going to need you to say it again once the meeting starts, because I'm going to ask that question. And now the meeting starts. It's 6 o'clock, so I'm going to begin the meeting. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. As always, this meeting is being recorded. We have an audio. We also have the camera. And now I will pose the question, is anyone else recording this meeting? Okay. And just for purposes of the minutes, just make sure that, that we know Mr. Harry is the one recording this, okay? Okay, first up, we have open public discussion. Anybody have anything they'd like to say? Yeah, that's fine, as long, just make sure you say your name and...
Mike DeValco, downtown Conroe. Since the last select board meeting, I've become aware that a small group of individuals on Facebook have decided to attack the historical commission. While we encourage intelligent discourse, a small handful have made the offensive statement, I don't know if we need my big mouth.
Why don't you start it over, only
all right.
because now you get the mic, we'll have the whole thing.
This okay? Can you
Yeah,
hear me? Or?
perfect.
All right. Since the last select board meeting, I've become aware that a small group of individuals on Facebook have decided to attack the historical commission. While we encourage intelligent discourse, a small handful have made the offensive statement that we lied to the community regarding the windmill project. Normally, I don't engage in the flotsam posted on Facebook, but this was so egregious and insulting to me personally and to the integrity of the Historical Commission, who have worked so hard for the public good that it demands a public response. What I would like to know is what possible reason would the Historical Commission have to lie? Let me point out the following salient facts. The windmill was built in the 1880s and is on the National Register of Historic Places, so its historic value is not in doubt. The purview of the Historical Commission under state law, which was adopted by the town of Brimfield at the 1972 town meeting, is for the preservation, protection, and development of the historical or archaeological assets of such city or town. The Historical Commission did not approach the Roman Catholic Diocese of Springfield. They approached us in regards to donating the windmill to the town. St. Christopher's has had a long history of caring for, repairing, and maintaining the windmill and wanted to ensure it was in safe hands in the event the church was closed. According to state law, historical commissions may accept gifts, contributions, and bequests of funds from individuals, foundations, and from federal, state, or other governmental bodies for the purpose of furthering the commission's program. They may make and sign any agreements and may do and perform any and all acts which may be necessary or desirable to carry out the purposes of this section, Chapter 40, Section 8D. In addition, donations in the interest of historic preservation can be addressed by the Select Board. State law specifically says that said historical commission may acquire in the name of the city or town by gift, purchase, grant, bequest, device, lease, or otherwise the fee or lesser interest in real or personal property of significant historical value and may manage the same. In the last several years, members of the Historical Commission have provided the town with more than 1,500 volunteer hours of service in our mission to promote, protect, and preserve Brimfield's historic assets. Instead of being the target of frivolous accusations, the Historical Commission and its members should be recognized for all the projects we have undertaken on behalf of the town. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Now, as this is addressing an issue, excuse me, of postings and whatnot on Facebook, it is appropriate if this board has anything they want to say or make a comment or ask questions or anything. Any comments, questions from the board members? All right, I see none. I'm going to just say, however, that it is outrageous and it is inexcusable that volunteers that do what they do for this town because they care about the town, they're trying to help the town, they're trying to do good things, should have to be subject to this. So I'm going to see to it that the rest of the board is given all the information that was, covers this particular issue. And I'm going to ask at a later date if there is something that we can and will do about this, but I will not tolerate people being intimidated and bullied, you know. Cyberbullying, just as bad as if you're sitting in the same room doing it. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Okay, is there anyone else that has something they would like to say? All right, I don't see any, so. You can, yeah, he's got it right there. Please make sure you give your name and.
Yeah, Chris Harry, East Hill Road. While you're looking into that, could you please look into the members of the committee that were slandering people on that same thread of stuff? I just want to make sure.
Okay.
Was that? It's on. I think it's good.
Okay.
Just wanna-
Well, I'm not in a,
fully.
I'm not in a legal position to define what slander is, so it would be difficult for me to do that. You know, you're talking on the one side, a quantifiable, we can open it up and say, this is what's being said, okay? I don't know if it's legal, I don't know if it's slander, I don't know what
Oh.
it is. If you feel, or if anybody feels that they're being slandered, I would say make the case for that.
Makes sense. I would like to point out, too, I think some of the things like I was pointing out on Facebook were the funding for ADA, where's the money coming from, things like that. That's just what I had in question. So if anybody wants to answer that, they can, but it's up to you guys.
Okay,
Okay.
comments, questions, nothing? Okay. Okay, anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on. So, first up, we have the minutes of July 28th and October 6th to be approved. Has everyone had an opportunity to review these?
Yep.
Okay. Comments, questions, corrections, thoughts, anything?
Didn't see any.
Okay. If there are none, then I'd be happy to take a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from July 28th, 2025, and October 6th, 2025.
Second?
Okay. There was no discussion, so yeah, I heard the second. Okay, all in favor then?
McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye. Thank you. Okay, and under our appointments resignations, we have Roseanne Bergdahl has resigned from the Historical Commission. Mark Connors has resigned. We have an alternate member. Mark Connors has requested a 3-year term, and Paul Adams has requested a 1-year term. So,
So the one-year term is because Roseanne resigned, correct?
well, somebody resigned. I don't know. It might be Mark's. I'm not sure
Okay.
which one it
So
is, but,
he's taking the rest of that term? Okay.
yeah, so it is to fill out a term. I'm not sure which of the two it is. Okay, can I get some motions on any of that?
You want to do them separately, or?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept Roseanne Bergdahl's resignation for the Historical Commission. You want to do
I'll
it?
Get a
second.
Okay. Any discussion on that?
I honestly think that this is a loss to the community, so I'm sorry to see her go.
I'm going to agree with you wholeheartedly on that. She's been a tremendous asset to this committee, and I know she won't be completely gone. I know she'll be still involved in this, which is great, and we appreciate that. So our best wishes to her. Thank you.
And if you do reconsider, you're always welcome back.
Okay, so all in favor of accepting the resignation?
McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye.
I'd like to see her not go, but
Yeah, I know. We could make an indentured servant until she can't go.
I was thinking about it.
All right, next one up.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the resignation of Mark Connors from the Historical Commission.
Second?
Okay. Any comments?
No, I'm just glad to see that he's staying on.
Yeah. So I'm going to call that to a vote then. All in favor?
McGuire, aye.
Vandalay.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye. Thank you.
Next up, I'll make the motion to accept the three-year term for Mark Connors as an alternate member to the Historical Commission.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
McGuire, aye.
Vandalay.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye.
Last up, I'd like to make a motion to accept the one-year term for the Historical Commission for Paul Adams.
Second.
No comments? All right. All in favor?
McGuire, aye.
Vandalay.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye. Thank you very much. Okay, next we move to new business, and the first discussion up is of the police details and compensation for the flea market in calendar year 2026. I have talked at great length with the chief about the issue of the compensation detail rates for the officers. And we have, on many occasions, made the argument that the chief has been told all along that if he feels he needs additional help, if the crisis comes up, if an emergency comes up, if weather is bad, whatever it is, that if he needed help, he would have carte blanche to basically call in whoever he felt he needed to protect the town and the people who are in it. And after quite a bit of discussion, it came to light that that sounds better than in actuality, because there's no, right now the officers make $40 an hour, which he can't get anyone else from any of the surrounding towns that will work for $40 an hour. And I understand that, I agree with that. And before we make a decision, I just want to point out that it should be noted that if there is a increase to the detail rate, which personally I hope there is, it does not come out of the general fund. The people of the town are not paying for it. It's coming out of the flea market, basically a revolving account. I know by definition it's not actually called that, but that's how it works. And I did it. I sat down myself and I did a bit of an analysis on this to see what the significance of a raise would be. The number that is being used is the $55 is what they're getting for other details, and it can't really be argued that this is a town event. It's a private business, which has been said many times, including by me many times. But if you increase the rate, it doesn't impact people's taxes insofar as it's being paid for from this flea market account. And the difference between what we pay now and what we would pay at a $15 an hour raise per officer is only about $13,500 across 3 shows. So that's for all 3 of the shows. Prior to 2021, I think the flea market account was turning back someplace on the order of between $19,000 and $23,000 a year after expenses and the $50,000 that's held out. And right now, this past year, 25 that is, we turned back $119,000. So the money going back is significantly higher than it used to be. Right now, I think the 3 shows, what was it, $33,000 for the 3 shows I think we paid, is that right? Right now, roughly? All right, so $36,000, $37,000. And it would go from that up by like 13. So you're still putting a significantly greater amount of money into the town coffers and giving the town the protection it needs in the event that we have to bring other people in. And it really isn't fair to the officers who work here if we say, well, if we're paying you, it's going to be $40, but somebody else gets a different rate. So I think it would be in the best interest of the town, certainly of the officers, the safety of the show, and there's no impact on the owners because this does not impact what they're turning in. That doesn't change. Permit fees, licensing fees, inspections, and so forth. So, thoughts on this?
Well, I just have a couple questions.
Yeah.
So if, Chief, could you help me understand. So if there's a private company comes in, say National Grid, what are they paying for a detail?
$65. But that's being paid by a private company using ODM up to the minute.
Okay, so I'm going to try to be the devil's advocate. So if a resident needs a tree down and they pay, say, Northern Tree to come in, what is Northern Tree paying?
65. Private. Anything private is $65. Anything town, right now is 40. Anything town would become 55. So for example, today we did some free, well, no, not today,
So I guess I'm asking, why isn't it at that?
at the 60.
Yes.
The 65 is a private rate, and that was through off-duty management's request, private. They're actually out of Texas. We were, as of prior to August 8th, we were at 60. When we signed our contract, our yearly contract, they suggested that we go to 65 to compete with our neighboring communities. So
Yep.
that's why we're playing.
I just want to revisit that for 1 second. This is to keep pace with our neighbors. So the surrounding towns are all paying this like $65.
Okay, well, Wales is 62 right now, and they're talking about going up next.
I guess I'm just having a hard time understanding why the officers aren't getting paid that $65 for flea market.
Because, like I said, ODM, we were at 60, we were fine at 60. When I did the contract with them here, they suggested that we stay with the 65. I'm sorry, bump it to 65. And because it's not coming out of our account, ODM out of Texas pays us electronically, so it's just a transfer of the funds. It's not a slush fund, it's not coming from the town. They do all the billing, they do all the chasing. We don't do any of that. So that's why we thought 55 was a reasonable number.
What I think her question is why has the town not brought the level up so it's equal with all the surrounding towns? I mean, 40 is a ridiculous rate for being out there in the road and doing all that.
Well, with all due respect, simply because if the town was to bring everything up, all my rates would go up. With the benchmark study that's still, all my rates would go up. My prices for my sergeants would go up, my price for my patrol would go up. If I was trying to compete with the neighboring towns that are full-time, and they're not. We have full-time coverage, but not full-time officers, just benefit. So for example, a sergeant in another town is making 35, 40 plus 50 something dollars an hour. We're not. That's a huge jump. It's unreasonable for us to go from 33 and change per sergeant to $50 an hour.
So it's budget driven, that's it.
Yeah,
Essentially.
realistically, slowly but surely, we're trying to work on our benchmark for next year, for June, July. When I meet again, we're trying to raise the money for them and try and compete with our bigger towns and our other towns, but we're not the other towns. And because we are so far behind to catch up, I would not be able to do any of that within my existing budget this year, for sure. Next year, we can plan on perhaps a 2%, 3%, and try and get them closer to that number. But that's why we were thinking.
So that 55 would be across the board
For details and compensation for the 3 flea markets, is what you're saying.
that?
If we agree to go to 55, it's going to be for any detail. If they get a detail tomorrow, it would be 55 instead of 40, or no, they're already getting on a detail,
They're getting 40 right now.
on a detail,
Yeah, not for town only.
right.
We've always given the town some kind of reasonable, because of the gap, we
right,
didn't want to
but,
jump, you know.
but I thought we were discussing flea market. We're not discussing.
Well, it's details and compensation for the flea
Yeah,
market.
we were using that as a general number for anything town.
So are you asking just for the 3 flea markets to go to 50, 55?
No,
Or
it would-
details as well?
It would be anything town related that, has a function, but we do not have a lot of town functions. Zach is here. Zach and I sat down many, many years ago, also with the prior chief, that we have an agreement that Zach uses when we need to. We try and save money on both ends. When he says we have a big project, we do that. For example, several months ago, we sat in front of the board, talked about a 2-week span where we're going to completely do Warren Road trees, all the trees that had to go with exigency. That came out of my budget, my salary, not Zach's.
that was just our agreement. We don't have a lot of town stuff, but when we do, we try to give that number. And I can honestly say to you that, truthfully, this occurred in 2011 when we had tornado. Because when we had the tornado, I believe we were at $32 an hour at that time. And when we had other towns come in to assist us, and I mean from all over the place, West Brookfield, Oak Hill, you name it, we didn't know what to pay them. We didn't know what to pay ourselves. So the board decided, what's the rate? It was $32. Everybody got the $32. Of course, we were reimbursed that money through Brimfield.
Again, and maybe this is going right over my head. So I totally understand where you're going with the 55, giving the town a break. When I get that, but when we're talking flea market, that's a different topic.
Right. Okay, so you agree that we should be giving the town a break?
The town a break, but the flea market is not a town event.
I understand. But that's what like I said, that's what we mean.
Honestly, I think the rate for your officers during flea market should be higher.
Okay? All right. I'll sit down.
I'm trying to understand the reasoning.
Yeah, we were just trying to, like I said, we were just trying to not outprice ourselves. We're behind on all our money figures for, things. And we're trying to catch up, that's why we did the study.
Right.
Okay. We're trying to. I'm not trying to say, I understand what you're asking. I understand.
Let me say this too. We don't have to make this decision right now, okay? But
Right.
this was important, and I think it's something that we need to.
Right.
So,
Your officers need to be paid for their work, and it needs to be competitive.
right, because we can't use the argument that, if we need help, we can just go to the surrounding towns.
Right.
That sounds good when you say it, but in reality, when you say, we'll give you $40, and they say, we're not going to work for $40.
Right, they can go somewhere else.
Then you've really created a less safe scenario
Right.
in that case. So why don't we do this? You want to take 2 weeks, and I'll put it on the next agenda. Tom should be here, and if there's anything you want to check into, look at, whatever, do that.
Yeah, I think obviously it was for discussion anyway.
Right,
so
this,
that's
right,
what
this
we're
was
doing.
I wanted to put it on the table so we knew what was
I just
coming.
want to be clear, I want your officers paid. Okay, and I'm not trying to be difficult, I'm really not. Okay.
Don't you try to give me more money than I want.
Yeah.
All right, so you know what, Chris, why don't you put it on for the next meeting, okay, and we'll cover it more then. All right, no decision to be made at this point, but, right?
Right.
Okay, we good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's what I think I want to talk to you about. Okay, next up, I think Mr. Frazier had asked that the ambulance contract, general discussion.
Correct. What I wanted to do was bring to the board, we're going to have to requote, the contract comes up in June. My personal feeling is, because of the issues with billing and problems with townspeople, that we probably want to kind of get a feel for what kind of reaction we would have for alternates or competitors to bid in.
That's a good point. I'm going to put you on the hot seat only because you were foolish enough to show up here tonight. Do you mind coming up and just sit here so we can talk to you without, It's really so I can hear you. I'm borderline deaf, One of the things that concerned me the most, and were you at the meeting when the two folks from the ambulance service were here talking about the contracts and billing and all that?
I was.
You were not at that
weren't
meeting,
here,
okay.
no.
I know, but you work closely with them, is that correct?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Okay. One of the things that gave me the most problems, frankly, was that they would, without a request for an ambulance, if they heard a call, they would just like show up at the scene and then bill you for it. And they said, well, that's our new policy, that's the way we do it. And I said, well, was that the way we negotiated that contract? And what they said was no. So that would obviously be problematic.
Yeah, I wasn't,
Did you know
I'm
that
not
was
aware of them. They do not self-dispatch as far as I know. So.
Well, that's my point. They said they hear, now, correct me if I'm wrong, right?
if-
They said, if we hear a call for service, police, fire, whatever, okay? they just go. And if they're not needed, they're still going to bill you.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
have
like,
billing.
yeah, that's
But
not,
there's no way they would know there's a call.
Well, they check
That's what-
911.
I'm not
That's
sure,
what they-
I mean, I'm
this
not
was-
sure how they would go to a
Yeah.
call without being dispatched by New Braintree Dispatch.
this was their words, not ours. We said, well,
mean-
you know, because somebody stood up and said that, you know, that
Well,
this
she
had
had
happened to
been.
them. And I said, well, you know, why would you go if you weren't called? Well, you know, if we hear the thing, and how they hear it, we didn't ask. I just assumed they had a radio that they could hear everything that was going on. If that's not the case, that's even stranger
Typically
than-
not, because the police are a completely different frequency, completely different band
Yeah.
than we would listen to at our station.
Okay, so the best of your knowledge, what they were saying was not,
I don't believe they're self-dispatching. I believe they only go to calls when they're requested to by New Braintree Dispatch, but
I guess.
that would
that's-
be news to me if they
We
were.
did have.
If they said that, they said, I mean, I'm
They
not-
actually came here and said
Yeah,
that,
Yeah,
right?
we did have several residents.
But
stand
they
up.
will
Yeah.
go
I'm
to a
sorry.
car accident if they're dispatched. So if our dispatch gets a call for a car accident with unknown injuries,
Yeah.
or they'll send ambulance, fire, and police.
Okay,
Then the ambulance will go there, get their refusal,
And with that refusal, they're still charging people.
Yeah, that's what,
They are.
that's the issue.
That's the
yes,
problem.
that's what I've heard as well.
Yeah.
It's true.
But are they charging their insurance company, or are they charging the person? Like,
Well,
I didn't
well,
look into it any further than that.
That
but-
slides into the other issue,
That's
which
the
is,
second stage,
yeah, that's the second issue, which was, you know, it was supposed to be in the contract that anything over and above what the insurance would cover, they were basically going to eat that. They would try to work it with the insurance company, but beyond that, it was between them and the insurance company. It did not-
Correct.
Or it shouldn't have
So
applied.
my understanding with that, though, is they cannot negotiate with the insurance company without getting the patient involved.
Exactly.
So
And that-
their way to get the patient involved is to
They sue.
notify them,
Yeah,
get them aware of it,
Right,
so
right.
that hopefully they'll come back but I believe that's what they explained in that
Yeah,
meeting as
and
well.
you know
That's
what?
what they've
And-
explained to me.
And I'm not laying all the blame on them because I know in several cases that I know firsthand, people have refused to talk to them and didn't want to do it. And it's like, well, you know, you can't say I'm not going to work with them and then get upset when you don't get what you want. So,
Right, because I mean, I hope our citizens realize if they allow the ambulance company to negotiate, if they allow this ambulance company to bill their insurance companies and
Yeah.
work with them to get the ambulance company as much money as possible,
Yep.
that's benefiting everybody in the community because our fee is based on how much money they bring in. They are a for-profit business.
right,
And if you look at our contract, once they reach a certain dollar value, our stipend starts to get decreased. Now, I don't think we've ever quite reached it. We've been, I mean,
We haven't hit it yet.
obviously, they're very good at what they do because we're right at the cusp of the number that they want to reach.
yeah,
And generally, they're right there, but don't usually exceed it, which means essentially
Yeah.
I take that to mean they're making the profit from the 3 towns that they expect to make,
Yeah.
based on the call volume they expected to make. And, you know, as we know, you know, some people have insurance, some people have mass health, so, you know, so every billing rate's a little different. So that's my understanding, is they trying to maximize the monies they can get from the insurance company, which then brings down potentially the town's stipend, and obviously, again, when we go to renegotiate, that's going to affect what,
well, clearly
The
we need
stipend that's
more
gonna
ambulance
happen.
calls.
well, I'll never hope for that,
No, no,
but,
I'm just kidding, just kidding.
you know, but yes, I mean, it's obviously a call volume-based business, so.
basically, the patient has to work with them if they want to get something
Right.
out of
I
it.
believe
They-
because of state law, they cannot contact the insurance company. They
Right.
cannot negotiate directly with the insurance
Yeah,
company.
and they were
without
clear about
input.
that, and I understood that even from the people who said that they didn't want to, you know, sign off on that, but,
So, we said, if we work with them and maximize
Yep.
what they can get from
Okay.
insurance companies, that
Okay.
benefits the town in general.
But okay, I understand what you're saying, but we still have residents that have major concerns with this particular company. We have residents that are telling me, you know what, if I need an ambulance, I'm not going to call because of,
I mean, I can't speak, I'd be surprised if other ambulance companies are not taking advantage of maximizing payments from insurance companies, the same as the current ambulance provider would be, that's all. But I don't know either way, but
Well, the,
my guess is, you know, they're a business, and if they can go get a refusal at a car accident and bill say, the car insurance for their time and efforts, then they're gonna potentially try to get that money from the insurance company. Now,
another concern was there's not a consistency in billing rates.
Okay.
And the state does not set regulated rates,
Correct.
okay? So perhaps that's something that needs to be nailed down in a contract. I mean, it's ridiculous to charge 5,000 to one and 1,000 to another, same services, same,
I don't want to speak out of turn because I'm obviously not an ambulance billing, but again,
Right.
my understanding is they negotiate those fees. So they'll negotiate a fee with one insurance company that's willing to pay X dollars. They'll negotiate another fee for another insurance company that's only willing to pay Y dollars.
so
In the
then,
same-
And if they
town?
have those fees set with those insurance companies, which is why a lot of our residents don't get any bill, because they already have that dollar value set, they've already negotiated that with the insurance company. They bill the insurance company pays them, and everybody's happy. It's a
And they don't
handful of
come-
insurance companies that want to underpay, they bill them the amount that they want to
Have you
make,
ever heard that?
and that's where that balance comes in.
and we have no record, they don't publish the rates of each insurance
I'm not
company.
sure if we can legally tell a private company
You probably can't.
how
Well,
to, but I mean,
they'll
maybe
give
there is a
us
way,
that.
I don't know, but.
They'll give us their accounting, we can ask them that. And
I mean, they'll give us their billings, they'll give us
Yeah, they'll
the
show
number of
us all
calls, they
that.
give us,
So then
lot of that
you should be
information,
able to
but-
break it out from
Yeah.
there.
Okay, so this is like 7 months away for the negotiation,
Yeah.
the renegotiations. So I think between now and then, we need to really take a good look at that and see exactly how that's working. Like what you just said, I had never heard that before, that the same company in the same town can negotiate different rates with different insurance companies
but
depending on.
that's not just this town, that's their contracts throughout
Oh,
New Hampshire, Massachusetts, like they get, Blue
Yes,
Cross Blue Shield, for example, they have a certain dollar value.
yeah, no, I got you.
So that's how it, and that's why, if you have that insurance company, you probably don't ever see a balance,
Mm.
because they pay an agreed upon amount. But there's
I-
others
I
that,
didn't know that, okay.
yeah, so I think that's where some of it comes from as well.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up for discussion because there's a lot to dig in here.
Yeah, there's a
We all
lot to
really
it.
need to be involved with it
Yeah,
to make the decision. Because if
absolutely.
we're forced to go out and find another group,
They
we've
really
got to
don't
watch.
think there's a lot of other companies out
Yeah.
there
I
that do
mean-
what they do.
I mean, there is a handful of, there's obviously a handful of private
There
ambulance
have to be,
services out there
yeah.
now, whether or not they come in with a better
Who knows?
fee.
But-
And then remember, there is going to be a transition period,
Yeah.
the devil
If
we
we
know
dec-
versus
if
the
we
devil we
decided
don't.
to change,
If
yeah.
we change,
Yeah.
now there's going to be another learning curve and another, new personnel who don't know the town. So, I mean, it's all stuff we can discuss and weigh, and,
Yeah, that's
it's what we
fine.
got to look at and try to figure out what is the best option for the town, but.
And I think we
agree
need to
100%.
listen to our neighboring towns as well. We do have that meeting coming up January
January.
21st. The tri-
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what their feedback is on
I mean,
all
I
of
haven't
this.
heard any feedback in terms of patient care or response times
Yeah.
or, operationally, and that's obviously what I deal with on,
Yeah.
I don't deal with the billing side. That's essentially why that
And-
all
and
went to
in
you guys.
fairness, I'm with you. I have never
I-
heard a
I mean-
complaint about the services itself. All
Yeah.
the complaints we have is the process of billing.
Yeah.
And maybe the simplest way to solve that is to do a better job communicating that publicly to say, depending on, and just say those things so that
I
people,
agree. I think
you
that
know,
was definitely one of what I learned from it
Yeah.
is, making sure
Yeah,
the citizen knows
Yeah.
the reason
agree.
behind why they need the patient and
and maybe the thing
involved
to
like
do
they
is,
do.
when it gets to that point next June, is even when we have a discussion with them, open it to public comment so that people can come in and ask these questions and, relate problems that they've had, like they did the night that these two folks were here speaking to it. So-
Yeah, and I mean, those are the only ones I've heard of, but I believe all the billing
Yeah.
complaints would go to you guys. That's not really an operational
Yeah,
issue that
no,
I would see.
No, I
so.
get it.
But, yeah, like I said,
All right.
I've seen no operational concerns. Neither, none of Chief
There have been-
Krog, Chief Gagney, I don't think
Yeah,
they've
there
heard of
were-
any.
There were no complaints
Yeah.
on any of that, it's just this billing.
Yeah, and it may be a
And
simple.
nobody likes medical billing. You go to the hospital,
Yeah.
nobody likes, nobody likes their medical bill when you see it. But, yeah, it's understandable for
the
sure.
resolution of this may be as simple as that. Explain to people that this is how it works,
Agreed.
because from what I've heard and what I've seen, it seems it's all revolves around the billing.
Yeah, and
okay?
that's-
And I think the more I hear about this right now, the more I think it's just, nobody
That's
understands.
the
how-
research.
our
And again, a lot of
self-
that information is coming from the ambulance company, because obviously they deal with the billing all the time, but,
Yeah.
But yeah, based on what I've seen in the articles that Mr. Wonker sent from, it seemed to all match up with what he was explaining, and,
Yeah,
that's how I understand it, and that's why they
okay.
bill in that manner and try
All
to
right.
open the door so they can get to the insurance company
Well, I'm glad you showed up, because I feel like we all learned something on that right now, so thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Okay, we all set? All right, thanks again. Appreciate it. Okay, next up, we're going to the other side of the table, and we have the Capital Improvement Committee discussion. Crystal?
So we discussed how our bylaws state that we need a capital improvement committee. And then this board asked me to put together the wording. Is it in here? The wording that would be placed on our website, asking for the 3 residents to serve on the capital committee. And I don't know if you guys all have that in your packet.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
So basically, the town of Brimfield is seeking 3 dedicated residents to serve on the Capital Improvement Committee. The committee is responsible for reviewing and prioritizing the town's capital needs, including long-term investments in buildings, equipment, and infrastructure. Members help develop recommendations that guide future planning and spending to ensure Brimfield's continued growth and sustainability. Please, that email is wrong. Please submit your letter of interest to blah, blah, blah. I would like to get this up on our website, and to get this committee up and running.
No, I think it's a good drive, and we need to do it. We
Yes.
really need to have focus and be planning ahead.
Yep.
Right?
And I am perfectly happy giving you whatever authority you think you'd like to have to be posting this stuff.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned.
You're okay with the wording?
Huh?
You're
Yeah.
okay with the wording?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Everybody else okay with the wording?
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, okay, good.
We need a motion,
No, I don't think so.
or, okay,
You don't think that you need a
I don't-
motion on
no,
that, you just have
just
the,
get it
yeah,
up.
turn it loose.
okay. All right, let's see, next up, we have the Public Access Coordinator, additional hours. As good fortune would have it, we have somebody in the room that can speak to that.
Hi. So, one of the questions that was posed to me when I first took this job was whether 17 hours would be enough. And at that point, if you recall, I said I would see and I would get back to you. And I've always been of that mindset, and it turns out that there is a lot of work to do. We have about 4 different manufacturers that make 4 different pieces of equipment that are not designed to work together, but were kind of jury-rigged together. To make matters worse, all of these devices have locked-out passcodes, so I have to be able to get into there and coordinate with all of the vendors on each of those pieces of software. I have to build more equipment for the special town meeting in a couple of days, so I've got to kind of shove some hours in there. We have an inventory and a cleanup and a surplusing of a lot of old and outdated equipment that's kind of cluttering up that studio space and making it a little bit unusable. And then there's just a lot of backlog in the videos that needs to get edited. For anybody who doesn't know, so typically for every minute of a video or a meeting, it takes about 3 minutes to edit and then encode. So meetings last a lot longer than my physical time in the room, because then I have to go back and get through them. We also have and anticipate setting up the meetings for live streaming, which, after talking with the Tantascwa IT personnel, will require that we put in a Spectrum node in here, and that's going to require, working with Spectrum and dealing with their people, which, if we've dealt with Spectrum before, we know can be a bit of a challenge. So, sorry, you guys can't hear me? I will attempt not to repeat all of that, but too long didn't read is that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. We have to set up some Spectrum equipment for live streaming. We have to get through a backlog of meetings, and meetings take about 3 times longer than the actual filming to edit and then get up and go live. Obviously, that will be a little bit better once we have more of a consolidated system. And what I propose is that we play this by ear. We give myself a little bit more float and a little bit more time to actually spend here and be on the ground working through these problems. And then we just reevaluate it, in a couple of months and see where we're at. Hopefully, I then have been able to nick away and sort of handle a lot of these projects.
Excellent. Well, I think we would be hard-pressed to argue that he doesn't need the time to do this stuff, because we all know how bad it's been.
We know you have to catch us up.
Yeah, we do. We know there's a lot of work involved in that. I got cute with Chris earlier, and I said, tell him I'll make the decision after the special town meeting. Make sure the microphones are working. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
I fully support that. I mean, that's such an insignificant, additional 2 hours. I mean, be kind of short-sighted not to just
What are you asking for?
2 extra hours a week.
And we have that within the budget, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
I
we
mean,
do.
that's just a
So it'd go
no-brainer.
from 17 to 19.
that's correct. And it was originally budgeted for 19 hours, so.
No, I see no problem with it at all,
Yeah,
because
me either. Anybody
there's a
have
lot
a
to
problem
do.
with that?
No.
But, I don't have a problem with it. My only question is, once you get to a certain amount of hours, do we have to offer, like, insurance and stuff like that?
I have no intention of taking it if offered, because I am self-insured, but it's about
just asking.
20, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
so
I'm
it's
sure there
20
is.
hours.
I don't think it's 19. Chris might know. Do you know what it is?
It is 20
many?
hours.
20.
Yeah.
20 hours.
Oh, 20. Oh,
Yes.
So we're bumping up to it.
all right, that's fine, but,
I will work as hard as I need to
Yeah.
without going over that limit.
yeah, no worries.
Okay.
All right, why doesn't somebody, if there's no other comments or questions on it, I mean, this is pretty
It's pretty straight.
self-obvious. Somebody want to make a motion to grant the extra 2 hours?
I'll make the motion to grant an additional 2 hours to the public access coordinator from 17 hours to 19 hours per week.
Thank you very much.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye. Thank you all. Okay, next up, Pioneer Valley Planning Commission request for extension of current fiscal year, does that say 23?
No, 26.
26, oh. What the hell am I looking at here?
It does. That's, that's
No.
Oh, yeah,
22, 23.
2022. Yeah,
Chris?
from 22-23.
Yeah, okay. So basically, it's not really putting something on us. We're just saying, okay, they're extending how long they have to disperse the funds. Is that accurate, Chris?
Yes, so they already extended it once in regard to the community housing. This would be specifically for finishing up the program with the Wales Food Pantry, and would just give them through the end of fiscal '26, and there would be no monetary change to the administrative agreement with Pioneer Valley.
Okay. So I guess all we have to do is say, yes, we'll grant them the extension that they've requested. It's hard to say no to somebody who's giving you money.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't want to refuse that.
I make a motion to extend the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission program until June 30th, 2026.
I'll second that.
Okay? All in favor?
McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the 2026 Annual Common Victualers License for MK Fuel. And I know I ask this all the time. Is that the old county line?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the annual common victual license for MK Fuel.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye. Thank you very much. Okay, next we have a list of liquor license requests. So I'm going to ask whoever's going to make the motion to do these and just do them one at a time, please, so that we have a clean record of the vote.
All right, I'll make the motion for the 2026 annual liquor license for the Apple Barn Cafe.
Second.
All in favor?
McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye. I'm not going to call for discussion because these are normally kind of just order, but if somebody has something, please just let me know, okay? All right, thank you. Next one.
Next up is going to make a motion for the 2026 annual liquor license for Brimfield Market.
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye.
This is what, yes.
Up next, going to make a motion for the 2026 annual liquor license for Francesco's Restaurant.
Second.
All in favor?
McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye. Thank you.
Up next, make a motion for the 2026 annual liquor license for Auction Barn Innovations.
Okay.
He's going to have to second that.
You want to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
McGuire abstain.
Vandal, aye.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye. Thank you. Next, we have the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission Local License Authority Certification of 2026 License Renewal and Seasonal Population Form.
That's enough.
That's a mouthful.
Chris, you want to speak to that, because I know you've been dealing with them.
Yes, although I think one of those forms got mixed in with what got passed through. There we go.
I recognize it.
The seasonal population form is just to attest to the estimate of, well, the seasonal population change, which we have 0 for, and is what's done every year. And for the renewal, it's just attesting that those licenses that were just approved were renewed and that nothing has changed or not been renewed.
Okay. So this is just a housekeeping moment. Excuse me. All right. We have no decision to make on this. This is
It's
just,
a sign, right?
okay,
Well, there should be a motion to sign them.
all right.
All right, I'll make the motion to accept the Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission, the local license authority certification of 2026 license renewals and seasonal population form.
I'll second.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay. All in favor?
McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye.
Fraser, aye.
Kelly, aye. Thank you. I want to sign that too. I think you all signed that one. You might as well jump in early.
Go this way, then that way.
Let me know when all the signatures are clean and to the last item. These are all set.
Those are all set.
Mitch needs to do that.
These,
I don't think Mitch
these
signed
you'll
this
need to sign. Mitch did not sign that. There you go.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Those are all set?
We're good.
Okay, last item on the agenda is just a reminder that on Wednesday, day after tomorrow, at 7 o'clock, in the same location, Brimfield Elementary School, in the cafeteria, there is a special town meeting called by a petition of the citizens of the town. This is not a select board decision to have this meeting. People got together, had, I think, 257 certified signature, which is more than enough to call the meeting. So it will be held, again, Wednesday, the 19th, here at the elementary school, in the cafeteria, 7 PM. There are just 2 items on it, so it shouldn't be too long. Okay? All right, having said all of that,
Make
Next-
a motion to old
I
business.
was just going to say, next meeting is December 1st.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye.
Kelly,
Fraser,
aye.
aye.
We are adjourned. Pass it down, Chris. I usually don't.